Legendary investor Warren Buffett, net worth of over $100 billion, known as one of the greatest investors of all time in our history. Today we're going to be diving into his portfolio, what he's investing in, how you can increase your return on investment, what investments he's making, his biggest investments, and everything about Warren Buffett. I hope you find massive value in today's video. Again, make sure to leave a like, make sure to smash that thumbs up button, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Brotherhood Finance. If you have not had the chance to do so yet, make sure to check out our website at brotherhoodfinance.com, and always check us out on our social medias on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I appreciate all love and support. Let's dive in this video instantly. All right, brothers, so the first thing we're going to dive into, obviously, is who is Warren Buffett before we dive into all the stocks that he's invested in his own portfolio. So again, Warren Buffett's net worth is approximately $101.1 billion USD dollars. And he's an American businessman, investor, and philanthropist. And he is currently in the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, so that's a very well recognizable company, especially on Wall Street as well. So again, Warren Buffett is regarded by most as being one of the greatest investors of our time. His buy and hold style has allowed him to purchase hundreds of companies that he felt were fundamentally undervalued. So that's something I always preach at Brotherhood Finance. You buy the asset low, and then you wait for it to go up in value and increase your return on investment. And for me personally, I always buy and I hold these assets. So I hold them for a long period of time. I'll let them compound, kind of like Warren Buffett did, the compound effect. And then that's how you build massive wealth. I'm following that same trajectory, and at Brotherhood Finance, we preach that as well, as time is your best asset. All right, so let's dive into his portfolio right now. All right, brothers, so in this presentation, I put together his main individual investments that make up about 87% of his portfolio. So let's dive into that right now. All right, so number one stock that Warren Buffett is holding on his balance sheet right now is Apple. So again, you guys are very familiar with Apple, what they do, obviously the smartphones, the iTunes, and the very other different business entities that they're involved in. And this makes up about 47.8% of his portfolio. So a very wide amount of his portfolio comes from Apple. And he owns 944.3 million shares worth about 109 billion USD dollars. So he owns a lot of Apple stock in his portfolio. Now again, the ticker symbol obviously is AAPL. It is trading at $148.56. And their balance sheet is $89.58 billion in revenue, up 53%. So with COVID happening, with everything that occurred, their revenues have increased. Net operating income has obviously been doing better. Cash on hand, they have $38.47 billion cash on hand. And they're doing very well. Obviously, their balance sheet's looking pretty good. Next stock we're going to be talking about is Bank of America. So Bank of America is making up about 10.6% of Warren Buffett's portfolio, and it's valued at over 24.3 billion USD dollars. Ticker symbol BAC. So Bank of America right now is trading around the $37.70 price target. It has a PE ratio of 12.62, which is a pretty good price to earnings ratio. It has a dividend yield of 2.23%. Quarterly financials, the revenue was up 34%. The net income was 161% up. The operating income was $8.04 billion, up 111%. So the stock number 3, this is Warren Buffett's number one stock that most people are familiar with. Many people consume a lot of their products on a daily basis, which we're talking about is Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola has, very many benefits that Warren Buffett likes. Like I was saying before, he likes to buy and hold these companies for a long period of time, and that way he can get the compound effect and he can get that return on investment over a long period of time. So Coca-Cola stock obviously is a very well-known stock, and it makes up about 8.6% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, and he owns about 400 million shares, approximately worth 19.7 billion USD dollars. Like I was saying before, about a 3.1% dividend yield. So he likes these companies that are giving him the cash flow. Very many of these entrepreneurs and people that you study, a lot of them like that cash flowing aspect where they can buy a company, and when you buy a piece of a stock, you're buying a small percentile of a company, and if it has dividends, you're also getting paid depending on when you get that earning. Normally it's every quarter. There's 4 quarters. Like I was saying, it's dividend king, paying higher dividends each year since 1962. Stock number 4 we're going to be talking about, American Express. So if you don't know what American Express is, they deal with credit cards, banking, etc. Warren Buffett likes to buy banking stocks. Like I was saying, he buys them low, sells them or holds them for a long period of time. And this makes up about 6.6% of his portfolio, and he owns 151 million shares valued at $15.2 billion USD. Stock number 5 is KRAFT. So what is KRAFT stock? This is a stock, KRAFT HEINZ, they do ketchup, they do many different kinds of foods. So let's dive into this stock. Before we dive into that, let's look at American Express and their balance sheet. Like I was saying, American Express, they're trading around $173 per share. They have a PE ratio of 28 and a dividend yield of 0.99%. And then if you look at their quarters, the revenue isn't too bad for American Express. Looks like their revenue is up 27%, which is a pretty good increase in revenue. The net income is $2.24 billion, up 508%, which is crazy, massive increase right there. And cash on hand, not bad either, $39.63 billion. So they have a substantial amount of cash on hand. KRAFT HEINZ, when I was just talking about KRAFT HEINZ. So they do ketchup, they do macaroni and cheese. So it's a very, it's a food company. Warren Buffett likes to buy these stocks and hold them for long periods of time. That's how he's accumulated wealth, and that's why I follow his investment strategy. Obviously, as he's worth over 100 billion USD dollars, and he is one of the greatest investors that's ever walked on this planet. I like to study high individual net worth entrepreneurs and study and master their craft. So that's why I follow his basis, especially following my Roth IRA tactic, starting at the age of 18 and then not retiring until 59 and a half, and retiring with around $5.4 million. If you have not checked out that video, make sure to check it out. Again, if you've watched this video this long, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I appreciate it, and let's continue diving through his portfolio. So again, he also KRAFT, they do Kool-Aid, Jello, Philadelphia, and tomato sauce. So they're in a wide variety of brands. And he owns 325.6 million shares of KRAFT, worth about 9.7 USD. And then stocks number 6 and 7 are MOODY'S Corp and US BANCORP. Again, these are more financial corps, more financial banking and all that stuff. Not too much about neither one of these stocks, but MOODY'S makes about 3.1% of his portfolio, and US BANCORP makes about 2.1% of his portfolio. So stock number 8 we're going to be talking about is Charter Communications. If you don't know about Charter Communications, they deal with Spectrum and all that stuff. But before we dive into that, I want to look at KRAFT HEINZ. So right here, this is an image of their stock, and it's trading at around $39.22. Dividend yield of 4.08 and a PE ratio of 93.15. Wow, that is some craziness right there. So if you look at their financials, cash on hand is kind of down substantially at $2.36 billion. Their revenues were $6.39 billion, so that was up 3.5% or 3.85%. And their profit margin's going up a little bit. Operating income up 29.81% to $1.39 billion. Again, Charter, what we were talking about, Spectrum, how they own, kind of some of those other entities in that company, makes up about 1.4% of Warren Buffett's portfolio, worth about 3.3 billion USD. So again, the last stock we're going to be talking about within Warren Buffett's portfolio is a healthcare partner stock that he owns, and that stock is, again, it's not a substantial amount that he owns. And the reason I didn't dive furthermore into more of the companies that Warren Buffett does own is because these are about 87% of his entire portfolio, with Apple making up the most, Bank of America, Coca-Cola, American Express, KRAFT HEINZ, US Bank, Charter, and many more. So found massive value in this video. Again, make sure to leave a like, make sure to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok at Brotherhood Finance, Instagram at Brotherhood Finance. I appreciate all love and support. And again, this is Warren Buffett's portfolio, so I hope you found value in this as always. Before we end the video real quick, Coca-Cola. So one of the main stocks I was talking about before we went into the other stocks, many people know that Warren Buffett owns Coca-Cola. So it's trading at a $57 price evaluation. It's got a price to earnings ratio of 30.56, which isn't bad. And again, it has a nice meaty dividend yield on it. So every quarter he's getting that cash flow from owning a portion of the company. So it's at 2.95%, like I was saying, close to 3%. And then obviously their financials. Coca-Cola's financials are always usually pretty solid. Cash on hand, $9.19 billion, which liquidity is always important to look at. And then their revenues. Are the revenues increasing? People are in lockdown. They're buying more Coca-Cola, so it's up 42% their revenues are. Net income up 48%, $2.64 billion. So this company is looking great. And that's going to be a majority of the video today, brothers. Again, I hope you found massive value in this. Warren Buffett is a legendary investor, and he is someone I look up to and I aspire to be one day. He's created massive success through using the buy and hold strategy, and then using compound interest as Thomas Edison likes to say, one of the ninth wonders of the world, to build a massive amount of wealth and fortune while using time as his best asset. Again, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, check us out on our other social medias, look us up at brotherhoodfinance.com. Make sure to rep some Brotherhood Finance merch. Make sure to check out some of our products that we have to offer. I love and I appreciate all the support. Thank you for being a part of the Brotherhood. It really means a lot. I'm happy with all the growth we have had recently and how far along we have come. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. Peace, brothers.